You know what time it is.
What's up, beer people?
If you heard it on the hashtag Beer Town, it's true.
It must be true.
It's true. It is fact. Please, won't you name one of your beers Cart Horse?
And just do something terrible. Just brew shit beer.
Stick your finger in there every now and again.
Stir it with the sock.
Every show, it feels like my first show.
Every show is a new adventure.
We're having some good conversation here, Mr. Troy.
Did I make sense there? I think I did.
I love them all.
Are we off air?
Hello, all you sexy kittens. Welcome to another show, another podcast of hashtag Beer Time with me, T-Bone Troy. This has nothing to do with kittens or cats. It's got a lot to do with dogs. So if you're a dog lover and you drink beer, then you are listening to the right podcasts. In our show today, we have Paul from the Kennel Brewery, and he is probably one of the friendliest guys you'll get in the craft beer industry. His brewery is located just a few minutes outside of Cape Town. It's in a suburb called Durbanville, and he is probably the perfect example of a home brewer turned commercial, starting small and just trying to grow in size from batches to different beer types. And we speak about that in the show and the struggles that he faced in starting a brewery and really finding a space to work on his passion or his hobby. We also go through some of his beers, and he explains the reasoning behind his labels and why he chose the different dog names. It's quite an interesting story. It's one that I like hearing. And yeah, we try some of his beers and some even special beers. As always, it's a cool show. I had a lot of fun recording it, and I know you guys will enjoy it. So yeah, I'll let you guys get on with it. Cheers. Okay, hi, how are you? It's Tuesday, a few minutes past 12. Listen to Two Oceans Vibe Radio. It's me, T-Bone Troy, coming to you live on the airwaves. How are you doing? I know that Cape Town is doing fantastic. We've had some rain, we're feeling good, we're feeling wet, and what a great time to be alive. I know that from my side, it's a great time to be alive. What a great time to be drinking beer in South Africa. Yes, you are listening to hashtag Beer Time, the show where we talk about everything beer related. And sometimes we go off on tangents and segues and discuss the meaning of life. But today we're going to try and keep it simple and stick to what we know. We're going to talk about beer. How you doing? How you feeling? Let's get right into the show. Thank you, music. Let me introduce our guest. He's fairly new on the beer scene, but his labels will stand out on a shelf. You know them, you've seen them, you'll recognize them. I'm going to welcome Mr. Paul from the Kennel Brewery. How you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Lekker. You sound perfect. So it's just the two of us in the studio today. Mr. Paul, before we crack on with the show, it's customary to crack open a beer before we crack on.
Definitely.
I think I made sense there. Let's do this. Can you tell me what I'm opening here?
This will be the first one I brewed when we started this brewery. It's called St. Bernard. It's my traditional California common. The reason I brewed this beer is like you'll sometimes find people that's still into the other beers like the Castle Lights and those type of things.
Yeah.
They'll find like IPAs and stuff is a little bit too bitter for them and stuff like that. So it's a gateway beer for people to have it, like a little bit of caramel, a little bit of Northern Brew hops. And, I wouldn't say it's nothing special, but just entry level, easy drinking, malt forward. Yeah.
Well, my first question for you is the importance to have a gateway beer. But before you answer that, let's cheers, because it is in the afternoon, officially the afternoon, we're allowed to have a little sip.
Well, some people will say no, some people say yes. I just find that sometimes, if you go for a jog, serve whatever, you don't feel it getting back, you're thirsty, you don't feel like a double IPA or anything like that.
I know there are some people who are listening who will disagree with that, yeah.
That's the cool thing about beer. Everybody's allowed to agree to disagree, but I just find it like a normal, easier first and just to go down quick.
It's incredibly smooth, incredibly soft, and it's, yes, I agree, it is a perfect gateway beer because just by looking at it, it's we've got a bit of a dark golden orange hue to it that's definitely differentiates itself from a normal lager.
Yeah. Like a California Common is basically most like it's like a lager but fermented at L temperature. So you ferment a little bit higher.
Do you get a lot of people asking that question when they visit you, or when, I don't know, any channels of communication? Do they ask, what the hell is a California Common?
Yeah, sometimes you do, because obviously it's known as a steam beer, but I think it's an overseas company that trademarked the name. Mm-hmm. And so we are only allowed to use the name California Common. But yeah, you do get people question, but as soon as people that don't know beer that often, if you say lager, they're happy. Mm-hmm. And they don't like almost switch off, they don't listen to the complete story. You add them at lager.
Well, that's pretty much a theme that we talk about on hashtag Beer Time, and it keeps it resurfaces, I suppose, every show, nearly every show, and that is the use of lager. So it's great to see that you as a new brewery are not just going with that route and just sticking on lager onto the label. You actually getting people to guess a bit.
I just find like some things like true lagers, true pilsners. It's just something I will personally not touch. Mm-hmm. Just out of not a respect thing, but just if you want to do that, you have to do it decently. Otherwise, I don't think there's any point in doing it.
Well, it is. I mean, it is a lot harder to make.
Yeah,
those lagers. As a home brewer myself, I find it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
But the second point is that we've got some great lagers already made in South Africa by SAB, and no one can dispute that, I don't think,
Definitely. Because that, and basically, your brewery have to be set up that way, which I'm very small, so we don't have all the...
You say you're small. What is your brewing capacity? What's your size?
For now, we're doing like 2,000 litres. That's basically, because I still got the Monday to Friday job.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so something has to pay for my expensive hobby at the moment, because that's what it is. So that's Saturday and Sundays is brew days and bottling days and whatever.
And festival days and...
all that stuff, yeah.
Okay, wow. So that's something I actually didn't know. So you're definitely juggling.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's an essential part of craft brewing, starting your business and having this hobby and just jumping into it and just trying to make ends meet. So that's it's a romantic story, but also it's a lot harder in real life.
The nice side is all the glamour and things, like you maybe go to a award show or you're having nice festivals, but it's actually, it's hard work, but it's fun work.
Yes.
But, yeah.
So, now we've got a lot to chat about in the show. I've got about an hour with you, but what you said a few things there, awards and stuff. We'll definitely come to that. But I want to know a little bit, let's rewind a little bit and go back to when it all started for you. Did you have a light bulb moment? When did you discover your passion for beer? That was a very cheesy question, but I want to know when, because everyone I think has a light bulb moment that goes off in their head, whether they're a home brewer, whether they're a commercial brewer, or whether they're just dabbling. They think, shit, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is my path. Yeah. So could you place us where you were, how old you were, how many years ago?
Yeah, the first time that I knew about the beer thing is like I had a mate of mine, and his dad has always had these different tools. Every Saturday, he would go to Verymark, whatever, and buy tools.
Sure.
So he was like doing these DIY things.
Yes.
And yes, it was probably like 92 or something.
Oh wow, okay, that's a while back. Yeah.
So he had this like strip sock, where you like almost like a pub sock.
Yeah.
I think you just add warm water to it, and then as soon as it blows up, the yeast will start carbonating, and then you tap it from there. Out of that, it's big bags.
Yes.
I don't know exactly how it works. I still have to ask his dad sometime. But that's when I think when the bug bite. And then many years later, these Cooper cans came out and making cheese, and you're making your own biltong and all those things.
So just explain that. Sorry, you said the bag would expand.
Yeah, it will be like a where you get to your malt.
It sounds quite dangerous.
But like a waterproof malt bag like that. And then you just added warm water to it, and then it will just start slowly, obviously, fermenting.
Huh.
But that was, like early 90s. So.
Okay, well, that's something that you've just taught me. I need to actually go do some research.
Yeah. But then the Cooper Skeets, and then it's basically the same story everybody had. You started with the Cooper Skeets.
Yes.
And then you went partial mash, and then you went full on, and then
I like here. It doesn't say established 2014. It says born 2014. Tell us.
What happens, I waited 3 years for my license.
Join the club. So many people.
Yeah, it's one license. What happened was, the guy did the license, and a year later I realized he actually just ran away with the money.
That's not good.
Yeah, second guy made a mistake, and that took another year to find out he made a mistake. And then luckily the third time a lady helped me out, and finally got it.
Oh my word.
So hence I thought I don't really want to say since 2017 because I've been working so hard to getting it. So I thought if you got the dogs, you can probably get away with born in 2017. Like a little grey line there.
No, of course. But, okay, so you are relatively new to the whole beer scene. I suppose you really started selling commercially, correct me if I'm wrong, it was last year.
Yeah, I think 3 weeks ago we were a year old.
Okay, well, congratulations on your birthday. It's amazing how quickly time goes, eh?
Yeah.
And, no, you've definitely grown in terms of, I would say, production in equipment. You're starting to upscale, upgrade.
Yeah.
I know that I bought your old counterflow chiller that we actually used this last weekend, which was fantastic.
Awesome.
So you're all growing, which is good to see. And you're based out in Durbanville. Whereabouts is that in relation to Durbanville Centre? I'm not too familiar. I don't venture out of the CBD too much.
That side of the world.
But can people come visit you, or is it that kind of place?
At the moment, it's just suited up just for brewing, production, and selling. Because like I said, it's still not the main job.
Yes.
So we have to concentrate on brewing everything. As soon as you got a few mates over, you tend to maybe forget a thing or two.
I think that happened on Saturday.
Whole day of hard work, and then end of the day the batch didn't work out, so it's a little bit of a bit tricky for a small guy like me.
You forget to put in an ingredient or maybe some Irish moss.
Yeah, or maybe too much of the other one.
Or you spill some beer. Okay, cool. So, I mean, you've got a great setup, and it sounds like you're juggling quite a bit, which I suppose a lot of brewers in South Africa are doing that. I mean, besides having another job, a full-time, running commercial brewery, you're also a family man. You got kids.
Yeah.
Do you have any dogs?
Yeah, I have.
Was that a good question? I thought that was a good question.
I'm a cat person.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I had two dogs, Amstaff and a pit bull.
Yes.
Actually, fits into the story is then after 4 or 5 years, the two males just didn't seem to get along anymore.
Connect.
And then, there will be one fight and we struggle to get them out of each other. And then by the third fight, it just got insane. So then I contacted Pit Bells in Melkbos.
Okay.
And they adopted one now, Ripley.
Okay.
And he's looking well and healthy, and I was going to rehome him everything.
Nice.
So I also decided to do a festival with them now, 30th of June.
Yes.
Where all the door money will go to Pit Bells for food, housing, everything for those.
So that's called Pit Bulls?
Yeah, Pit Bells.
Pit Bells. And that's an organisation that looks after dogs?
They rescue pit bulls and rehome them and stuff like that.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so we chatted about this briefly off air, but it's basically like a charity event to help raise money, awareness.
Definitely, yeah.
And so let's just clear those dates up. That's not this Saturday, the next Saturday, the 30th of June, May.
30th of June next month.
Oh, okay. I was right. So 30th of June, not next week. And where is that?
That will be at Simons Vlei Winery at Karoo Craft Breweries.
Okay, so that's on the way to that's on the N1 on the way to Paul.
You'll see that big wine bottle.
Right, yes. Okay, and they've had a few festivals there, I think.
We once held the Karoo Beer Month. I know they're doing it again this year.
Yes.
In October, November somewhere. So definitely.
Nice. Okay, so that's the 30th of June, and there's going to be. I take it there'll be a lot of beer.
Yeah, will be 11 nice breweries, and there will be some wine for the ladies that don't brew.
11 breweries.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So it's definitely a beer festival.
Yes. It's called the Perfect Winter Beer Festival.
I love the play on words. But before and I can see it's a great segue to your labels. But before we do that, I've had a request from some of the Tasting League captains to play some music. We'll see you guys after the break. Cheers. Hello, welcome back. Yes, listen to Hashtag Beer Time. What a great song. Fleetwood Mac. Digging the tunes. Now, we are drinking some beer, surprise, in the studio, with Mr. Paul from Kennel Brewing, the Kennel Brewery. And we're going on to our second beer. Mr. Paul, how you doing? How was that first bit of the show? Not bad?
No, it's
easy.
Now, the first beer's in and now all downhill from there.
It's downhill. Okay, do you want to tell and explain to the lovely listeners what's our second beer?
Second beer is Ale Station. It's an Indian Pale Ale. But what you'll find on this one, it's not your typical hop bomb. Once again, it's bigger bottles. So you have to make it more sessionable. It's no point in making a big hop bomb and the person can't really finish the beer. And also, once again, more entry level for the newbie, whatever, because there's a lot of great IPAs out there from a lot of guys, but I find that sometimes there's not really a nice one just for entry level to session on, just to get people more into it. That's it.
So, before I ask you another question, I'm going to have a little sniff. It actually does have quite a fruity...
Yeah.
Stones, definitely got a stone fruit, some peaches, some little sweetness. But yeah, I agree. It's not that typical West Coast IPA that just kind of explodes in your nasal cavity.
You'll find most of the, I won't go higher than 44 IBUs for my palate. I still enjoy that. So you can maybe still go back to a different style of beer. Then your palate's not too red. But that's just personal choice again.
This is delicious. It definitely has it's a well-made beer. It's got a lot of fruitiness, not too much hops as we spoke about on the nose, but when you taste it, when you drink it, it's clean, it's crisp. It does have that bitter finish, but not that harsh, lingering bitterness, which I feel some brewers don't get right. This one actually, that strong bitterness dissipates.
Yeah.
And
you could probably put on the label Pale Ale, maybe, but I just IBU's a little bit higher for a Pale Ale, so I had to say IPA, but like I said, entry level starting IPA.
So, while we're on the subject of what beer to put on your label, let's talk about your labels. Let's talk about the names, because I think even before you started brewing, there was a bit of excitement. There was a bit of a fanfare, a bit of social media buzz around your products, because you've incorporated dogs' names or words. You've had a play on words into the beer. Where did that idea come from? For example, we're drinking the Ale Station. And what is the first one? The beer...
Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard. So, who thought of this? Where did this come from?
It was typical, one of those Afrikaans Brianites and few too many beers, whatever. And
yes, I've been to some of those.
And you always find there's 2-3 guys that don't go to bed too early. They stay up till late, and then I'm one of those. And I was sitting there, and I was still having I think it was a Guinness or something like that. And I was looking at my parents' dog, which is a Border Collie. And I was just thinking Border Collie, and I thought stout porter. So I thought Border Collie, and from there the names ran. That same night just came up with most of them.
So you had a bit of old grandpa's cough medicine. You were drinking some. You were on your way.
Yeah, it's just
and the inspiration just poured.
Once I get an idea, I just want to finish it immediately. It must be done that night, so I wanted it done.
So that could have also been maybe a light bulb moment that went off in your head. It was just oh my word, this is...
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And then I still didn't have a name for the brewery, because now I had all these dogs, beer names, but
all these dogs and no place to put them.
And then I thought at least these dogs need a name, type of thing.
Yes.
So I was playing around with a few names, and then one day, as a small brewery, you buy all these equipment from Gumtree. You buy a little bit here, you buy a little bit there. And if I remember correctly, my dad just walked in the place where I stored all the stuff, and he goes like, Jesus, it looks like a fucking brewery in here.
Yes, yes.
Like a kennel
Yes,
in
yes,
here.
yes.
So I thought like, oh well, I'll take a kennel then.
Kennel.
Well, yeah, at least the dog's got home now.
Oh, brilliant! No, that's I love that story. I mean, I'm gonna upset Mr. Rowley here, Rowley Beer Geek. He's a big cat lover.
Yeah.
I myself am a dog lover, but I just don't think the cats would work in this kind of scenario.
Hey, we're still cat friendly, but yeah, it's not as clever puns though. Cause
You don't want to put the Litterbox Brewery on your label. It just doesn't work.
if that doesn't work out, there's some ways they can play around with the name Litterbox. I know where your beer should go.
Yes. Cool. Well, so I really am enjoying this beer. And what's your... I mean, when you started your brewery, I think you started with 4. Am I correct?
Yeah, I started as a beer nut and then the ale station.
Is it your plan to keep rolling out new ones and to introduce new products, or we can debate this. Anyone listening can debate this, like whether you just start with one beer and focus on that beer, or you create a big SKU, more selection.
Yeah, the idea was always to have a few because that's just me. Some of my friends will say I always overdo things as well. Can't just stick with 2 or 3 things. It must be like 8.
There's 7 days in a week. You need to have a selection, a choice.
It's just fun, but you'll see like we recently launched a little thing called the Dog Tag series.
Yes.
Where I just keep it fun for me as well, because I always tell my friends and people, it's like this beer brewing thing is really fun and I enjoy it compared to my Monday to Fridays. And so like I always say, like I started this and it's enjoyable and you meet new friends and it's a fun side of business. So if I really want to go fight with people, I still have that Monday to Fridays. So this is my passion project or whatever you want to call it.
Your escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with a little weekend retreat. I know that this past weekend, I'm going to give a bit of a shout out to the Carthorse Homebrewers Club. We met at Greg's place on Saturday and we made a Belgian double. And there was a bit of debate as to what we should make, but I think the people on Twitter spoke the truth and they voted for the Belgian double. So yeah, we made, well, what we think and what we hope is going to be a good beer. But it's actually, with this cold weather that's just hit us, this cold front, it's actually the perfect time because the temperatures are great in the cellar and it's cold and it's just going to, not too cold. I've told Greg, if it dips below 18, we need to wrap a little blanket around there. And yeah, but that was basically the whole day Saturday. Don't remember much afterwards, but it was...
I saw the video with the red glove on.
Oh, really?
Instagram, yeah.
I think you might need to elaborate. People might get scared when they say red glove. Yeah, and I actually burnt myself. Homebrewing's not for anyone. You need to look after yourself. Back to the beer. Delicious. Thank you very much for making this. May I ask what hops you're using?
You'll find the only South African, I'm not against any South African products or stuff, but the only SA product that I use is Southern Passion. I find that's quite a good standard. And the rest was Chateau Pale Malt. And Cara Blonde, just to give that a little bit of, because you'll find it's not like a traditional color for IPA. Yes. Just because what I want is, because of my labels as it's diverse in color, I would also like to have the beers should be standing out as well.
Yes.
Because I find sometimes you go to a restaurant and your wife maybe gets a blonde, you get an IPA, but they're both the same. You go like, which one is mine? And the staff doesn't know. So I really like the colors to stand out in different the different glasses must stand out as well. But yeah, Cara Blonde, Chateau Pale Malt, Southern Passion, Cascade, and Mosaic.
Okay, I've never actually heard that before on the show, and we hear a lot of stuff on the show. So you've actually purposefully made a beer with different colour. Yeah,
you'll find I'll get an India red lager. Everything should be different. Just because I come from making food as well in the backside, I enjoy that as well. So you'll find I always love the idea of less is more.
Yes.
So when when something says, I think anybody can make like a really hoppy IPA. It's just how much hops you have.
Yes.
You can just chuck it in.
Okay, so did you say you just use SA hops?
No. The only SA hops, only SA product I use in any of these beers
Southern Passion.
Just Southern Passion. Just to get
So what other hops did you put in the ale
Cascade and
station?
Mosaic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, those aren't bad hops. Those are...
Yeah, because sometimes you just find it, like less is more, because if you make food, it says a pinch of salt. It doesn't say a kg of salt. But sometimes you do find
Some people do like
recipes.
this, yes.
They just like a kg of anything or whatever. But like I said, it's each to his own, and that's what makes beer so fun. I think there's a lot of ways to do a thing, but you get to the same result at the end, and that's fun.
No, so... Yeah, it's a very well-made beer, and I'm enjoying it. So thank you very much. I want to talk about the labels. Now, before... I kind of feel we need to go over to the next beer before we discuss the labels, because you won. There's a few awards that you won, but let's take a quick music break to listen to some music and to relieve ourselves. But cool, we'll see you guys in a bit. Cheers. Hello, welcome back. Listen to Hashtag Beer Time with me, T-Bone Troy. Oh, what a fantastic day. What a great day. The sun's out. We've had a bit of rain, and I'm feeling fantastic. Got Paul in the studio from the Kennel Brewery. We've just tried the Saint Bernard, the Ale Station, and we're going to try the Beer Bull Belgian Milkshake. Okay, I'm going to have to push a little pause button there. What in the heck is a Belgian milkshake?
Well, it's once again something I still wanted to brew two different more styles, but I felt like I only had one more clever label for the beer. Mm-hmm. So I still want to do like a Belgian beer,
Yeah.
and then I still want to do like a New England IPA type of beer. So I thought I will just take the best of both styles and come up. So basically, on paper, it will probably be like a wit beer, but where you took away, say, the coriander and the orange peel, you added vanilla bean and lactose in that, and then you triple dried up type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So from the sound of it, from what you've just said, it actually sounds a little bit complex and layered. So I'm going to put my old schnozzer into the glass and see if I can pick up these flavors. So it's just to describe to the people listening. It does have a Belgian wit cloudiness or a haze to it. I'm just looking at your bottle. Your glass is a lot more milkier. I think I obviously got the first bit. The first pour, which didn't contain all the goodies. Yeah, it definitely has a bit of that farmyard, yeasty characteristic, little herby spiciness coming through that's typical of the Belgian styles.
Yeah, this is still the T58, so still you get that little bit of banana clove.
And it also has a bit of that fruit punch.
Yeah. That's not obviously from
That's from the hops and the...
And then I use Centennial and some Azaka.
Yeah.
And then once again, there's no hops in the beginning. It's only starting from wool pooling. No starting hops or bittering hops, anything in the beginning.
So this is something that I'm a little bit interested in. That's when can you add, not when do you, but when can you add hops to the boil? That's because, I mean, from my limited research, hops also act as a preserve, and they help to preserve the beer. And so, I mean, is there any danger of adding them too late?
Yeah, I think the way I do it, to go to when I will pooling, I cool it down to 80 degrees.
Sure.
And I just quickly add it there.
Okay.
Nothing lower than that for myself, otherwise I'm scared of the bacteria maybe.
Yes.
And only starting from there, that's the first hop addition, is only when I'm cooling down at 80 degrees.
Really?
That's the first hop addition.
Okay, wow. Okay, so you could basically say there's virtually no bitter in hopping.
No, nothing, yeah.
Okay, well, I don't think I've had a beer like that. So I stand to be corrected, as always, on my show. But I'm going to go for a little sip. That is, it's, for lack of a word, it is bizarre to smell a Belgian beer, but then to get almost like a Vermont IPA, a New England IPA.
Yeah. The other day we actually had it on, we went to a friend's house and I took some of it on tap. And I think that's the way to go, is to get us on tap.
Okay, so you are doing kegs.
Well, looking into this way, I was soon moving that side,
Yeah.
Because some of these beers you really want it as fresh as possible out of tap. Because with time it can start lacking a little bit of the hop additions and then it just tastes a little bit flat. So, yeah.
So that may be a nice segue to talk about the size of your bottles. They're 750ml. Dumpy, as we call them here in South Africa.
This is a 660 ml.
A 660.
Yeah,
Okay,
660.
apologize. So it's not a dumpy. It's a 660 ml, which I think they have them in the States, but it's not. It's a relatively new thing in South Africa. But why are we drinking a 660 ml? I mean, everything on the shelf is 340, maybe 500 mls.
Yes. For me, for a few reasons. First one of all, my wife is a wine drinker.
Yes.
So when we sat at a table restaurant having dinner or lunch, whatever, she will have a bottle of wine, and sometimes I just end up with, the way we are, like 6-7 bottles of beer standing on the table later on.
Yes.
So I just thought like I would something like can be of in her ice bucket along with mine, and I prefer like smaller glasses, like 330
Like we're
glasses.
drinking now, yeah.
And especially as well as me and my mates, we bought a few beers and we'll have a few tasters. If you bring like a 330 and you 6 guys, how do you share that?
Yes.
So now you can share like that. And the one that's not the main reason, but it does make life a little bit easier as well when you're a small brewery and you have to bottle. Yeah.
You're preaching to the converted here. Yes, no, I've been there, done that. Even as a home brewer, we want to try and keg most of our beer. No, but I like that. I like that you are. I mean, that's your message. It's a sharing beer. You want to take it and introduce it to friends. It's a very.
Yeah, you'll find on these bottles on the side, each bottle's got a little saying, like the Symbiont one will say, don't drink and drive, rather take your dog for a walk.
Yes.
I think the Alsatian says, enjoy with your second best friend, because obviously dog is
Love
your
it.
best friend.
Love it.
So enjoy it with your friends. So it's all about sharing and caring
Yes.
and yeah,
No,
trying to be positive.
absolutely. I love that. So I wanted to. I mean, we chatted off air. We said that this was your second batch. I tried the first batch, and you made an adjustment in terms of adding more oats.
Yeah.
Are you happy with this now? I mean, what I'm trying to say is, well, my observation is this batch that I'm drinking right now is 10 times better than your first batch.
Yeah,
This is a massive improvement.
It's I personally think every batch can get better with time as well. I don't think a beer can ever be perfect.
Yes.
I think you can always better anything. But yeah, I'm much better happy with, obviously now I had some feedback from people and took that into mind and did some adjustments, and yeah, I'm happy with the.
Well, you brought up a very interesting thing, which I feel I can talk about for days, and that's the constant need for improvements. And it doesn't have to be in the brewing scene, but let's keep it into the brewing scene. I think what makes a good brewer, what makes a good businessman is that they constantly looking to improve their beers. They're not resting on previous experience or education. They're always trying to grow themselves. So I commend you for adjusting and trying to grow that beer and elevate it. Because I think we're all new in this game. Whether we're a brewer, whether we are social media person, whether we are a podcaster, a radio host, we're all trying to improve ourselves and improve our knowledge. So keep going for glory, I suppose.
Keep improving.
Yeah. But having said that, I feel that this is 10 times better than your first batch. So yes,
I appreciate it.
I dig it. I'm trying to think if I've tried a Belgian milkshake before. Have you done any research? Have you seen if anyone around the world makes a similar kind of beer?
I'll have to go look. I'll lie to you if I tell you now.
You can say that on radio. It's fine. People will believe you. I say lies all the time.
It's true. It's on here.
Next day, it's printed in the press. I can't believe how quickly the show is going. But before I forget, before we go into our next beer, I wanted to talk about your recent awards. And, we had this new competition in South Africa. For the people listening overseas, this is a relatively new craft beer market. We don't have the big, great beer festivals that you have. We have small ones. And something that was new this year was the National Beer Label Awards. And the gentleman opposite me got a gold. Your label's got a gold, which I'm super stoked about. But can you just maybe tell us a little bit what happened or what the judges said?
Well, first of all, I have to say thanks to one of my good friends, Peter Fabricius. We used to play band together, and he used to do all like the band flyers. And once again, he also has the concept of less is more rather than make it too busy.
Were you two drinking that night when you came up with the designs?
Well, I actually gave him I gave him the beer names, and I gave him freedom of do your thing. It's like if you get two artists and stuff, it's still their art, so you want to give them a little bit of freedom.
Okay.
Otherwise, just shoving them in the block and say, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Yes.
I don't like doing that. So, and he just came up with himself with these beautiful designs, and on that night we went, because I think it was Designers Award.
Yes.
So the labels were more for the designer.
Yeah.
And we sat there and everything, and they started handing out silver, and then I think they got through all the breweries, and me and him was sitting there and we thinking shit, I think they forgot about us. This is going to be so embarrassing. We got here because he had a name tag that said, some people's name tag said Peter Fabricius from company. He just said Peter Fabricius, like James Bond.
Yes, yes.
And we won, and I was very stoked about it, and all the compliments to him for coming up with a nice design.
That's great news, and it's good to see that all aspects of the beer community are starting to get recognized and rewarded. So, I think I might have to throw my name in the hat for the next year's competition. Start designing things. There was something that we spoke about off air. Can you remind me what we spoke about? Your CO2, your carbonation.
Yes.
And I liked that the discussion we had off air, but with all these beers, they don't have a harsh fizziness. It's very low carbonated, and I suppose you're one of the only brewers that I know who does this. Maybe there's 1% or 2% who do this, but you bottle by hand. And when I say bottle by hand, there's no semi-automated method. You put sugar tablets or sugar spoons in?
Sugar spoons, sugar spoons for a little tractor key and in the bottle.
In the bottle, all by hand, and it's all you on your own.
Me and Morris.
You sometimes, so you do have a friend.
I do get Morris, and sometimes we get a third guy, because then on one day you have to brew, bottle a batch and label the other batch, and then you have to box it. So it gets a little bit...
So you really are doing everything. This is...
So it gets a little bit on day. You're looking at brewing a batch of 250 liters, labeling 355 bottles.
Yes.
And bottling 350 bottles, and then you have to box the other 355 bottles.
So to all the people out there who put handcrafted on their label, they should actually just take that off, because I suppose your beer is the most handcrafted beer I've had on the show.
Well, I think there's a few brewers that, I wouldn't say struggle like we do, but I think there's a few guys out there, because you have to start somewhere at least. Eh?
Yes.
You just, you know what those machines and stuff cost, so you have to start somewhere at least. So rather don't have excuses, and rather just start doing it, and then hopefully it will get to that position where you maybe can.
Yes, well, we're looking forward to that. I hope you get there soon. So you do everything by hand. You sugar the bottles by hand, bottle condition. And I mean, from the 3 beers we've had, the condition has been great. There hasn't been.
Like I told you as well, I prefer a slightly lower carbonation in the beer.
Okay.
Sometimes I do get 1 or 2 clients that say it's not too much carbonation. I say each beer style I make it it has the amount that I want in it. A beer obviously must have a lot in there, but the rest I prefer it like a moderate type of CO2 in it. Otherwise just like a bird fest.
Yes, exactly. No, exactly. It's again, I repeat myself on this show, but it's 10-2. I can't believe how quickly we're going. Let's crack open your final beer. And, I mean, these first 3 beers, how many beers do you have in your year-round beers?
Year-round beers, we got the 6.
Just name the other 3, yeah?
Alsatian, St. Bernard, Maltese Poodle, Lagerdor, Porto Collie, and the Bierbel, yeah.
And the Bierbel.
Yeah.
So those 6 beers you have continuously throughout the year.
Yeah.
Now, let me open this one. And while I'm opening it, so if you want to just describe to the people what I have in my hand, because I'm excited about this. I was very lucky to have a little bit on the weekend, but I like this look, this feel, this name, what you're doing.
It's just like, now you have your say you got 2, 4, 6 different styles that's yearly available all year. I just like to do more stuff, keep it interesting and keep it fun. And then like, sometimes you chat to brewers and you come up with an idea, then you have to wait because now first labels have to get printed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, if I got an idea, that's just me, I just like to do it immediately. Why wait? So I came up with this dog tag series where especially I can do whatever I want, when I want, brew when I want, and with who I want to.
Amen to that, yes.
So, and it's fun. Like, once again, it must always be fun. Like, I can't...
Yes, well, I dig the name, the dog tag. Obviously, it's a great comparison. It's a great step down from the kennel, but it does give a bit of a
you'll find
experimental.
What I tried was I tried to make it a little bit different. Once again, Peter Fabricius, but you'll find like the label itself is like a red wine label.
Yeah.
Highball, and I got like a DIY little stamp, so I can just punch the new name of the beer style, the ABV, and the IBUs every time I want to. And we got another one that's busy now at the moment. The second one, we did like a collab with Elysian Brewery with Ashley, and that will be like it's a triple hopped hazy IPA in the name of my daughter, because this month is IPA.
Yes.
May IPA, whatever.
It's my month, yes.
And my daughter's name is Anna May, but MAE.
Okay.
So we decided to make an Anna May, like the calendar month, Anna May IPA.
Nice.
Which is going to be like a triple dry hopped hazy IPA with gooseberries in it, because she loves Morelifis, Apolifis, whatever you call it. And I just made a little beer for...
So talk to me about this beer, the Dog Tag series. This is your first one.
This is the first one, yeah.
And it's a chocolate raspberry ale?
Yeah, it's also like in the Belgium style, but obviously I added fresh, like 5 kgs of raspberries on the 250 litre batch.
Yeah.
And then real dark chocolate and some chocolate nibs. And then what I did was put it on a month on Hungarian oak chips.
Okay, so it was exposed to wood chips. It wasn't in a barrel. It wasn't barrel aged.
In my stainless steel fermenter, just the chips in there.
Okay.
And then what I did was a little bit different is I bottle conditioned it with 1 part table sugar, 1 part grated dark chocolate.
Wow.
So you'll find little pieces of dark fermented chocolate in there, like almost like a Beanie Gold.
This beer actually, this beer reminds me of when I, started getting crazy with my homebrew system. This is the kind of thing where you just go buy cocoa nibs, where you go buy fruits. I mean, I used to go buy expensive coffee. I used to go buy, even used to buy whiskey to put into our beer. But another story for another day. So I had some on Saturday, as I said earlier on the show, but let me do the whole tasting again. Got a beautiful brown, amber, crystal clear color. Look in here. Nice micro head. And the first thing I get is that raspberry juice that you used to get as a kid. Let's see what else I pick up. There's a hint of like a little chocolate waffle or something like that. There's like that sweetness that's coming through, which I suppose you want. But let me go for the taste here. I think I need to have another sip. It almost messes with your mind because you think cocoa nibs, chocolates, raspberry, 6.5 ABV. You think, this is going to be not a heavy beer, but this is going to be a winter warmer.
Yeah.
But it's surprisingly sessionable.
Yeah.
Did you? Because I mean, and also you barrel aged it, so it's all these things in combinations, but it's
No, it's barrel aged. I just added the wood
the wood
chips.
chips. So not to compare you or put you in the same page as another brewery, but it's almost like Innocent Gun when they have their barrel aged or their intense beers, but they make them sessionable and bring them down.
Yeah. Oh, once again, it's a big bottle, so yeah. So I have to make it like in a way sessionable, but yeah, this is the highest ABV beer I've ever brewed for Ginnell Brewery.
What I know there's chocolate there, but it's obviously very subtle. Is there anything that you'd do to maybe the next batch if you had to make this again? What would you change?
Yes.
Because I would like a little bit more of that chocolate. That's
More chocolate?
Yeah,
maybe
there's
some
like
more like roasted chocolate nibs maybe at the end.
But I know the chocolate nibs aren't cheap. So,
Yeah, the raspberries as well. But yeah, like, the thing is like I wanted that, obviously the raspberry on the nose, and then you get the raspberry when you first sip, and then chocolate's more in the middle somewhere, and then the oak just pulls everything together at the end. It just like rounds it off.
I'm actually blown away by how sessionable it is. It's actually... Yeah, it's fantastic. What did you say your second one was again? Just remind me.
It's going to be the triple dry hopped hazy IPA with Cape gooseberries in.
Oh, wow. And that's the collab with
Elysium. Yeah.
Elysium, okay. Yeah. Elysium are also in the same area, I think. Are they still contract brewed?
Yeah, they still contract brewed on Maitland side.
Maitland side. Okay, cool. So, when can we expect the new dog tag to come out?
On Sunday, I added the last batch of dry hops, so Cold Crash, and then we're going to serve that one on keg, just to get it as fresh as possible to the people. And we're going to look at maybe like a little launch event, see if we can maybe do some Kenilworth side, some this side, and some of the northern suburb side.
Well, please do.
Yeah.
Please let us know. Let the listeners know when you're going to do something, because I think
it will be on the Instagrams and the
people need to drink this. Are you? I mean, we've got a few minutes left. Got about can't believe it. I've got about one and a half minutes left. What's the response been like for people in your area? Are you? It might sound like a very stupid, silly question, but are you considered a local brewer in your area in Durbanville?
Yes, it's more difficult than you think, though, because you're the new kid on the block and whatever, and so you still have to show yourself and do your things, which is fine. But you can't just expect getting on the block and everybody will start buying your beers. Obviously, you have to work in your way because contracts are signed 2 months of 2 years in this brewery in this bar. So you have to wait your turn. Just make sure your product is to standard and just keep on doing what you can do.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like there's such a huge market that just a top bit of the foil that just needs to be peeled away, and there's just this whole market there that local brewers need to tackle and dive into. Like, we've had many debates on this, on local bars serving your local area, and I think it's a trend that we're seeing that's happening in the States, where locals are really supporting their local brewery, and the brewery is only serving the local.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go
and you're not distributing beyond your borders. That's because that contributes, that is part of your 80-20 principles, 20 that you just cannot afford to let go or worry about.
That's cool though, because like I always say, like people always say like there's too many breweries, whatever. But if you see the wine farms, the wine countries, there's a lot of wine farms, but you tackle this side this month.
Someone said 5,000 wine farms.
And then you go that side, and then after a year, you'll go back again, and you make the same trip again, just to see what's new, whatever.
Exactly.
I think there's enough work for everybody out there to be done.
Yes.
Let's just open up more to the people that can just see more and support each other and do the best we can.
Yeah. As I said at the beginning of the show, it's an interesting time. It's a great time to be alive in the beer world. It's a great time to drink beer in South Africa. And yeah, it's lots of exciting things, lots of nerve-wracking things as as a gentleman said the other day, you know, as a craft brewer, you've got this nice tailwind when you start, but when you're in the market, there's this massive headwind that you just kind of come up against. But having said that, I still think it's an exciting time to be involved in the craft beer scene. On that note, if you're listening tonight at Banana Jam, we have the Craft Brewers Association Western Cape meeting, and we're going to chat to the brewers and the members about what's happening in South Africa and what's been done, who's doing what, and yeah, it's exciting. As I said
Exciting
before,
times.
Mr. Paul, we're finished. Can you believe it?
That was
It's gone. It's gone. It's quick. I'd like to thank you
thanks for having me.
for joining us in the studio, for bringing some delicious beers. I almost feel like I'm tempted to finish the rest of the beers because I'm thirsty and they're delicious, but I know that I have a lot of work to do. So, but again, thank you very much, and keep doing it. Keep
appreciate it.
fighting the good fight. To all our listeners, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you're thirsty. I hope you go to your local brewery. I hope you go to your local bottle shop, to your pub, and you buy a delicious local beer. Do it. And, yeah, let me know what you think.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Cool, guys. We'll see you guys again same time, same place next week. And here is a song dedicated to all the Tasting League captains. I know you're going to enjoy it. We'll see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for listening, guys and girls. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for #BeerTime. That's #BeerTime written out in full. Hope you enjoyed the show, and check you next time. Cheers.